We will hear from a distinguished panel of speakers today. First, Han Ling, Assistant Professor in Gender Studies program at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, who will be our moderator and also introduce the topic. Sherry Si, Senior Vice President, Group Strategic Marketing and Communications at DBS Bank China. Jessica Chen, Senior Manager, Brand and Partnership Development at Nonprofit Incubator or NPI. Sherry and Jessica will share about their long-term partnership and how it has evolved over the years. We will then hear from Robert Baek, General Manager, Corporate Social Responsibility at Hyundai Motor Company, and Romi Cahyadi, Chief Executive Officer with Instella Indonesia. Romi and Robert will share their experiences partnering across borders and across cultures.
Okay, so let me first introduce Robert Baek, the General Manager of Corporate Social Responsibility of Hyundai Motor Company, and Romi Cahyadi, Chief Executive Officer of Instella Indonesia.
Hello, I'm honored to have a chance to explain our project HSC to all of you. My name is Robert Baek, and I'm in charge of overseas CSR program in Hyundai Motor Group. Our project aims to make Indonesia better than now regarding environment, education, and employment. I thought it is quite a hard task, like surfing on the wave, so I put the picture of it. Let's go surfing together. Next slide. Before taking you to the answer, let me briefly introduce our global CSR program. We have a number of direct CSR programs in 3 categories in the world. However, it doesn't look like that is the best way for Indonesia. So we find it out another solution for Indonesia. Next. Indirect CSR program like this graph. First, we make a partnership with accelerators to raise social ventures. Second, accelerators select teams that can solve social problems. Third, selected teams will work for that while making the profits, for sure. Finally, social problems will get better or solved as we want it. Next. Here is our roadmap for HSC. I don't think we can do it alone, neither we should do it alone. Therefore, I imagine that when we put our strengths together with each organization's specialty, it will make a bigger and better impact on Indonesian society. So I drew 4 sectors like this. Planning and budgets are in charge of HMG, and nurturing and selecting are in charge of accelerators like Instella. Supporting is needed from the government. Practicing is in charge of social ventures. Isn't it beautiful drawing? Please give us your encouragement and support for our project. Next, we are planning to foster at least 100 social ventures in Asia, including Indonesia. Due to COVID pandemic, I think there will be more needs for financial support for social ventures. Next. Luckily, we met the best partner for our project at AVPN Conference 2019. That is Insular, who is in this room together. We met at the conference, and we also met in South Korea a few weeks after the conference to drink Korean vodka. Well, it was just kidding. We sincerely discussed about our project at that night. And we are introduced to each other by Kravis, who is another AVPN member and Korean accelerator. I'd like to introduce our precious partner, Insular. Hello, Romi.
Hi, Robert.
Would you take over, please?
Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. It's really good to be able to share our journey together with Hyundai. And before moving on, I would just like to mention here that when we first designed the program together, it was before the pandemic, actually. It was the end of 2019. And when the pandemic hit, we weren't really sure, actually, whether we should continue or not. After a while, after some time of reluctance, we decided that actually we should move forward. And we thought that it would be very important to send a message to the Indonesian people that despite of this difficult situation, we should continue to maintain hope and optimism. So we did. We continued with the programs. And in the next slides, please, we can see that in this program, we provide three main benefits for the selected teams. The first one is the program gave an amount of grant for each selected team to grow and develop their business and impact. The second one is a combination of business workshops and mentoring to help the teams adapt and modify certain aspects of their business in this pandemic situation. And the third one is an opportunity to expose their businesses in a demo day and awarding ceremony. Next slide, please. We received quite a high number of applications. It's over 300 applications that we received. And we interviewed 20 teams together with Hyundai and few experts. And then we selected 10 teams to join this program. And some of them are in education, some of them are in environment, and the others are in the employment sectors. Next slide, please. Several highlights which I would like to share with all of you here. As we all know, we ran this program during the pandemic. Actually, I think I would say right in the middle of the pandemic. And in the beginning, we set a very clear indicators what the teams would expect to achieve in terms of both business and social impact. And then at the end of the program, we measure again their achievement. And we were really glad to see that 7 out of the 10 teams actually achieved more than 75% of the targets. This, I think, is really it's a really good result. Not only because of we are running this program, but I think this gives us a lot of hopes, a lot of optimism that despite this challenging situation, entrepreneurs really strive hard to achieve what can be done, despite all these challenges that they are facing. So we are really happy with this result. The other highlight which I want to share here is the enthusiasm of the public. We had over 4,000 viewers during the awarding event. And so this shows that, again, the public, the general people may not be involved in running the businesses, but they celebrated this program. So I think this is something which I really want to appreciate our collaboration with Hyundai. And of course, this has not been always easy. We have to be honest about this. And I think Robert will also share a couple of things which we learned from this collaboration. Please go ahead, Robert.
Thank you for your kind explanation, Rami. Well, we were asked from AVPN office what were the most challenging parts of collaboration with Installer. Actually, there was not much, but I can pick 2 of these. First, we both used second language English for communication. So sometimes we had to confirm the agreed agenda over and over again after we discussed. Second, for making an accomplishment, we had to do each task individually. And later, it was supposed to combine so that we had to understand each other's in terms of working style and format, or philosophy or something else. It sounds not difficult at all, but when it comes to reality, it has many jobs to compromise in each organization. Thanks for paying your attention for our presentation, and we'll keep moving forward to make better world, and I wish you are together. Thank you all.
Thank you, Robert and Rami, sharing this very serendipitous sort of meeting of at the AVPN conference and finding the sort of this best partner in this Hyundai Startup Challenge. So I have a questions for Robert. So in this journey, moving beyond this corporate social responsibility toward corporate social impact, what are some of the biggest challenges and opportunity you see in this journey?
Well, because launching this kind of project in different countries is not quite familiar for our company and also, for our business model. So we have to find out nice or the best accelerator like installer, and it is quite challenging part. And well, like we can promote our CSR activities to the other countries' population. It is quite good opportunity through doing this kind of like project.
Great, thank you so much, Robert. And I have a question for Rami. So in your way of co-creating this value-aligned program with Hyundai, and also with other corporate partner, what are the common challenges you face and how did you overcome these challenges?
I would mention at least two, Ling. The first one would be setting up these expectations. Yeah, it's easier said than done. Of course, we had numerous meetings in the beginning. We would ask Hyundai, I would ask Robert, okay, what do you expect to achieve by the end of this program? And we would measure, okay, can we deliver this, And of course, from Hyundai team is the same actually. They would ask us, okay, can you do this project and achieve certain results? And even though during the earlier meetings, it seems that we have understood each other, but when we really did the project, no, there are many maybe different perceptions, also different contexts. So there were hard times, I would say. I would ask Robert hard questions. He would reply me back also in with all honesty. But I think we had to have the belief, the trust that hey, we can do this together. Okay, it's difficult, but I believe that our partner Hyundai at this case wants to see this as a successful program, as a successful project, and we also have the same expectation. So I would communicate to Robert, hey, look, these are the things that we can achieve. Sorry, there are certain things that we cannot do, and Robert would push back and say, look, these things are essential. Yeah, some things are essential. We are a global company. We are we need to maintain our reputation. So certain things are non-negotiable, basically. And then he would say, okay, but this thing, okay, I can accept. So a lot of these things are happening. So I think this is number one. Number two, I think, is different context, because we live in Indonesia, and Robert and his team lives in Korea. He did come, and we talk and all, but certain things, for example, I was having, this is just to give a very, now it seems foolish and funny. So in Indonesia, we have calls for prayers, so at certain times people pray, and so it never occurred to me that I have to explain this to Hyundai, but it happened at some time. At one point, a certain thing happens. I had to make a decision on the spot, and I could not really explain this to Robert properly. That there was no intention to be disrespectful to anyone, but yeah. So there are certain aspects like this which we have to overcome. And again, I think eventually we have to believe that our partners really want to see this as a mutual success. Yeah, I believe that. Hyundai wants to see this project successful, and I believe that Hyundai also wants us to be successful, even though there are certain things which I don't always understand, or I don't always able to. I am not able to comprehend. Yeah. So that's probably for now. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Romy. You actually touched on one of my questions, like, how to work like cross-culturally. So let's now invite Sherry and also Jessica back on the stage for panel discussions.
Hello.
Hi, Sherry. And
Hi.
Jessica. So I also pose a similar question to Jessica because Enpai is becoming one of the largest intermediary in China, and through this journey and also grow through different stages, and how to co-create value-aligned program with your corporate partner, and similar to what Rami talked about, working from cross-cultural context and challenges. Like, what is the common challenges that you face, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Okay, thank you, Lynn. As I mentioned before, most of our donors actually they are transnational companies. That means they're foreign companies. But the lucky thing is, they all have this passion, to get engaged in the local community of China, and they have faith in the Chinese market. So that makes them actually very, they kind of respect and trust us when we plan the program for them, and they actually hear our suggestions. And to my personal experience, the biggest challenge is not really the we cannot reach agreement on the venue of their program. The biggest challenge can be the budget. Sometimes the CSR department, they don't have enough budget when we actually want to throw a large scale program. So usually actually we just first of all I would try to help our CSR partners to get more support from the internal channel, because we have them to prepare the presentation, and we actually try to get opportunities to do the presentation together with them in front of the executives of the company. And we think the face-to-face communication could be more persuasive. And sometimes, if there is a chance, we invite the high-level officers from the top. Actually, we invite them to visit one of our innovation spaces or one of our community project sites. So I think they all actually just provide them more, the add value of the program. And finally, okay, they say, okay, let's just go for this budget. But even though most of our program actually are start with a small budget, and then they just add more budget like year by year. And there's another challenge. Actually, I mentioned a little bit during my presentation is sometimes when we deal with a branding and the communication department, they do have the expectation to do some branding campaigns, but eventually we're doing this, is a charity program. So we have to find, a balance between their expectation and our mission. So for some program, we're just trying to invite the media and the local government officers, if possible, they can present at the ceremony, the opening ceremony and the conclusion ceremony, and we're just trying to share the information with our media partners, and we try to get opportunity for our company partners to present, to showcase the programs in front of the groups they care the most, such as the community, the people in the community, and also say the local government officers. So we just try to create opportunities like this, and which makes them kind of satisfied and make them feel it's worthy to work with the MPI. So I think that's two of my just the examples I would like to share. Yes.
Great, thank you so much. So we are also waiting for questions to kind of fill in from the Q&A. So I have a question for Robert and also Sherry, for especially kind of encouragement for corporate seeking to start a partnership with intermediaries. So what do you see are some of the biggest benefits for working with intermediaries to achieve more impactful corporate social engagement? And what are some considerations for you to choosing intermediary as partner versus other type of organizations? So either Robert or Sherry could kind of quickly chime in if you would kind of comment on these questions.
I think I can cover the second one.
Okay.
So yeah, what are the key considerations for choosing the partners? Actually, my criteria is they have their centralized teams and to control the quality of the whole project, and also they have their networking across the country to help the corporates. For example, if we lack of human resources in each city to execute the CSR project, then we can leverage on our partners' networking and human resource to help us to control. And when we choose them, we wanted to understand what is previously what they're doing, the successful cases. They can show their cases, and also I'm quite I have quite demanding on the project data number tracking. Actually, we will be very cautious when we are talking about the beneficiaries numbers and all the outcomes. So we need the project to be in timely tracking. And also, I think the whole team's professionalism is also a very important element. And also their strong relationship with the government. It will also help us. Yeah, that's all my thing. Robert?
Thank you. Yeah, Robert.
Well, I think each organization have own specialty in different area. So my organization has some kind of like specialty in different area with intermediary group company. And I think intermediary company has good at practicing, and they know more about like local startups, the ecosystem, and their localized business model. Because even though they explain about like their society or their business model of which the local startups have, we cannot fully understand because we have different based culture. In this way, we are in charge of like planning and budget, and we will manage of how it will run by intermediary group like company like Installer. And as long as we have a trust and trust each other, we can make bigger impact because they're more professional employees than ourselves. That is my opinion.
Thank you so much, Robert. So we have a questions from the audience. So in your partnership, how did you work out on the impact measurement scheme of your program? Can you give an example? So this is a question for all. So first, can we go to Romy?
Yes, thank you, Ling. So in the beginning, actually, as I mentioned during the presentation, we developed together with the teams, actually. And I'm talking about the Hyundai Startup Challenge program. We developed together with the selected teams what are the targets that they're going to achieve within this program, because even though we can design it from the outset, but it's the teams who would grow and face the development during this program. So we had that in the beginning, and then we actually it's a live document which we are using. So every month actually we are going to update. Okay, what has been achieved, from the initial target, and then some teams did make some adjustment in the middle of the program, and which is totally fine because because situation changed, especially in this pandemic. And then at the end of the program, we measure again these indicators. So I can give you some examples. So for example, we usually divide this into two categories. The first one would be the business goals or the business objectives, things like revenue improvement or reduce in the inventory, for example. And then the second category would be on the impact side, things like number of beneficiaries or improvement in the income of the farmers that they are helping, for example. So things like that. And we do not pose any ambitious targets. I think Hyundai was quite realistic in this area and give us a lot of autonomy and flexibility to set targets which are realistic for Indonesia's context. So by using this simple approach, we would be able to say at the end of the day, okay, this is what we have achieved. I think for these questions, Ling, we have to be also because when we say impact measurement, sometimes what we mean is not impact, it's outcomes probably, or sometimes output, And so I think we should be realistic about this. When we say impact measurement, probably what we mean is not impact, it's probably outcome. And of course, I think everyone would measure output. It's very direct from the activities. And I think even with outcomes, we have to be considered which are within our control, right? And which are beyond our control. So I'm happy that, and of course, so this is what I just explained is very specific to the teams in this program. Of course, from Hyundai's perspective, they also have their own set of criteria, indicators, how they're going to measure the success of this program. Some of this measurement may or may not be directly related to the team's achievement, but we acknowledge this as well as part of the whole project management scheme. So that would be what we have, what I can share here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Romy. I think your point about whether it's impact versus like outcome or output measurements is quite realistic in this sense. We also have a question from another audience. So since we are running toward the end, let us all of us kind of answer this question and think about this because it's also pandemic related. So Jessica mentioned the challenge of budget limitation and needing to convince senior management to invest in these strategic programs. How would you advise, particularly from intermediary sides and also from the corporate sides, others that are struggling to get this management buy-in, especially as budget may be shrinking with the pandemic? Okay. So first, perhaps Jessica would like to respond, because I know during the pandemic, MPI has actually done a lot of work in this effort.
Okay, so to be honest, we haven't really met this challenge during the pandemic campaign because it is the pandemic, so many companies, they can be very active. So actually, we haven't met very obvious challenge for that. But we do recently we do have this there's one program we are planning to work with one of the local company, and we want to do something to support the young people after in the post-pandemic era, because it's difficult for them it's much more difficult for them to get a job, compared to the previous year. So they don't have much budget. I think it's less than 500,000 RMB, but they want to do much impact because the marketing department. So we realized in the first place, the people actually get in touch with us it's not actually the one who can make the decision. So we just suggest, okay, I can take my team, because there's 3 people, and we can go to your office and we can host you can host a seminar, and we can just share all of our experience, and we can share the idea with your team. And he thinks it's also a great example. He thinks it's a great opportunity because for them it's a seminal. It's also a seminal, and they can get in touch with the local NGO and they can ask a lot of questions because the company, they are interested in the local community. So it goes quite well. It's like 3 people from us and 3 people from them, and at the end, the boss actually gets to very happy, and he thinks, okay, this is a good proposal, and we'll go for it. So I think this is a recent example. It's like you have to realize if the people you are dealing with can actually make the final decision. Otherwise, the better to create opportunity to get in touch with the decision-making person directly, because sometimes when you're give the information to the people, in between, and they might, because they don't know much about the local community or the philanthropy stuff, they might be missing information to prevent the boss making the right decision. So just a recent example. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jessica, for actually kind of, contextualize, how to actually make it work, especially during the pandemic time. So I think we're coming to the end of the webinar, and then we have here, actually the conversation just started to hear about, building a collaboration and partnership and long-term partnership between intermediary and corporate partners. So I think there are a lot more that we would actually like to explore, and everybody's actually just like starting to, think about how to work it, with each other, especially consider the pandemic and also cross-cultural context, which is also quite important and impactful to work with intermediary who actually have local knowledge and expertise to actually maximize what corporate try to achieve at the local level. So now let me hand this over to Roshini.
Thank you, Ling, for that excellent moderation, and also to all our panelists, Sherry, Jessica, Romy, and Robert, for this really insightful conversation. I echo Ling in saying that this is only the beginning, and as we can see, questions have started pouring in, and I hope that this sets the stage for many more conversations to come. So thank you to everyone in the audience for your questions and engagement in this session, and also advance thanks for future engagement as well. This session also marks the launch of a case study on how corporates have worked with NPI to extend their social impact in China. We are grateful to Han Ling, Jessica, and Sherry for their partnership in bringing this case study to fruition. And we hope that everyone in the audience will find the learnings relevant and applicable to your own circumstances. The case study can be accessed through the QR code shown on the screen, or also on the AVPN website under the Insights tab. If you would like to learn more about how corporates can extend their social impact, do look up our new microsite, which can be which can be accessed also through the link seen on the screen. This link is also available in the chat box. We have now come to the end of this session, The Power of Intermediary social impact. This session VPN website soon, and we look forward to seeing you at our next event.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thank you,
all.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.